This is section 7.1, Introduction to Circles. And for part A, we're looking at number 5 from the homework. Here we're identifying the center and the radius. The center we get from the -8 and the +3. We take the opposite of what it is in parentheses. So it's a -8, so we're going to put a +8. And we have a +3, so we're going to put a -3. And then to get the radius, we're going to end up taking the square root of 80. If we're graphing this, well, first we can break down 80 to 4 times 20. And 20 is 4 times 5. And so we can simplify the square root of 80 to 4 square root 5. But when we're graphing this, it's nice to have some sense of a decimal value to know exactly how long this radius is. So if we enter this into a calculator, we get roughly 8.9. So in graphing this, we first start with our center at 8, -3. Plot our points. And then our radius is 8.9. So from the center, we're going to go 8.9 in every direction. So 8.9 to the left, and then 8.9 above the center, roughly here. And then 8.9 to below the center, kind of off the grid here, and then 8.9 to the right of the center. And then we sketch our circle the best that we can. And there we have it. So the next one, part B, we're taking from number 10 on our first homework. And we're to write the equation of the circle with the given information. The circle is shifted from the origin 4 units down with a radius of 3 root 2. So we want to get our center of the circle, and our radius is given to us already at 3 root 2. Our center, well, since we started at the origin and we moved 4 units down, we're going to be at, well, first I'm going to write the radius here. Radius is given at 3 root 2. And our general form of our equation, if we have a center A, B, and a radius R, is going to be x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared. So we know our center, because we shifted 4 units down, is going to be at 0, -4. And our radius is given at 3 root 2. So we plug in our values, and we get x minus 0 squared plus y minus -4 squared is equal to our radius, 3 square root 2 squared. And we just need to simplify this a little bit. x minus 0 is just x, so we get x squared. Y minus negative 4 is a y plus 4 squared. And then when we square 3 square root 2, get 3 times 3, which is 9. Square root 2 times square root 2, which is 2. And so we can finish this by writing x squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 18. And there's our equation. Our next problem is taken from number 12 in our homework. And it's asking, is the point 2, 4 inside, outside, or on the circle x plus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 16. So from the equation we can see that the center is going to be at negative 1, 1. We can also see that the radius is going to be the square root of 16, which is 4. And so let's sketch this circle. Left 1, up 1 for our center. And then go 4 in each direction, to the right, above, to the left, and below the center. There's our circle. And we're interested in the point 2, 4. So when we plot that point, we can see where it is in relation to our circle, which is pretty close to our circle. So our circle, our drawing may be off a little bit. The way I drew it, it looks like it's outside the circle, but I may be incorrect. We need some more information. We need a more definitive way to answer this question, because I don't have that much confidence in my drawing. So notice we're given the point 2, 4, and we're going to plug in 2 for x and 4 for y into our equation. See what value we get, and let's compare it to 16. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 squared plus 3 squared is going to give us 9 plus 9, which is 18. So that's greater than 16. So how do we interpret this? What does that mean? Is it inside? Is it outside? Is it on the circle? Well, if you get a greater than sign like what we have here, that's indicating that the point we're looking at is outside the circle. If we get an equal sign, it indicates that the point is actually on the circle, which is on the circumference of the circle. If we get a less than sign, then it indicates that we're inside the circle. And so in our case, we have a greater than sign, which means we're outside the circle. And the last one that I'm going to go over is number 17 from the homework. It says to complete the square and write the trinomial as a perfect square, no decimals are allowed. So we're going to, in order to come up with the number that we need to complete the square, we're going to take negative 20, which is the number in front of x, divide it by 2, or cut it in half, and then square it. When we divide it by 2, we get negative 10, and negative 10 squared is 100. So that's the number we need to add to both sides of the equation. The reason this number is so special is so that when we factor, we get 2 of the same factors, or a perfect square. What two numbers multiply to 100 and add to negative 20? Negative 10 and negative 10. So we get x minus 10 times x minus 10 is equal to negative 2 plus 100, which is 98. So we finish this by writing x minus 10 squared, because there's two of them, is equal to 98. And that's the end of the problem.